We are so pleased to have asked all of you to come, and all of you came on a momentous occasion in Lake Forest history. Most appropriately for this civic gathering, it is also Flag Day. This is a flag. If you have one, why, wave it proudly, if you will. Atta girl. So a salute to you, America, Lake Forest, and soon we will be hearing from our Congressman, Bob Dole, Mayor Don Schoenheider, President of the Forest Park Board, Ralph Gesualdo, as well as some of our major sponsors. And then we will ask for you to join us in memorializing this day with a commemorative group photo that will be taken at the end of the remarks. It's a little complicated, but all you have to do is stand up and look at the, see the little cherry picker up there? There you are, there she's waving. You just turn right around as if you haven't been sitting in the sun long enough, and we'll get one photo, and you'll be displayed in City Hall for the rest of our lives. But first, we are delighted to have Sofia Verones, a sixth grader from Lake Forest Country Day School, who will lead us in singing the Star-Spangled Banner. Sofia?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Sofia is now appearing at the Gorton Center in the Wizard of Oz. Do you have any time so we can all go down?
It's at the end of July, the last week of July.
Good, we have time to make a preparation. You know, Sofia, I'm glad to see you do this so bravely because it's little successes like this that lead to you becoming Renee Fleming. Thank you. Now a little background for this special dedication. Along Chicago's North Shore, there are few lakefront enclaves that appear to compare with the treasures of Forest Park. Just look around you. 7 acres, forested land, threshold to Lake Michigan, inspired by the city's name, and one of the earliest public parks created in the 19th century movement, the Parks movement in the United States. It is nationally recognized as contributing to the Lake Forest National Registered Historic District. With its rich cultural and natural history, the park offers an enchanting experience along lakefront bluffs, ravines, and woodlands. And what a beautiful place it is. A century and a half after it was established, deteriorating. Don't. Now this is the real test. Has he read the script? Or will the mayor gather it up for him and hand it to him? Oh, my producer, thank God, is here and appropriately dressed. If you'll see the walking flag, I'm afraid that somebody will run her up a flagpole unless we follow her in. Why don't you sort through it while, okay, here we go. Everybody should have either a teleprompter or a producer within arm's length. Anyway, as I was saying, a century and a half after it was established, deteriorating infrastructure, obscured views, and an overgrowth of invasive plant communities threatened the park's health and appearance. The decline inspired a stewardship effort to rehabilitate, enhance, and preserve the magnificent space. The work that is completed today was done in accordance with a master plan that was created by Stephen Stimson and Associates, honoring the legacy of the original 19th century landscape gardeners, Almarin Hotchkiss and O.C. Simons. Special care has been taken to preserve the woodland, the bluff, and the ravines. Today, we have a beautifully rehabilitated park boasting 1.5 miles of new walking paths, spectacular vistas, and amenities to be enjoyed for generations to come. It's my pleasure now to introduce Lake Forest Mayor Don Schoenhaider. Don?
Thank you, Bill, very much. Good afternoon. What a celebration. It really is a great celebration of our community and its residents. But I think today, as I was walking across the park, I realized it's a celebration of vision. As Bill mentioned, over 150 years ago, the founders of our community decided that this place should be open space and always stay open space. And look at it today. And over 100 years ago, the city, believe it or not, the city council, actually engaged O.C. Simon to create a plan for this park. And what we see is the beginning and now the evolution of that plan. And maybe a decade or so ago, a lot of people got together and said, you know, it's time to create a new vision for the park. It's time for a rebirth. And so literally hundreds of people, through years and years of effort, have created what you see and what for generations we will all enjoy here today. I'm very proud to also tell you that the City of Lake Forest was a very proud partner in this. The city and the Forest Park Project Board had a 7-year project partnership, the longest project partnership, public-private partnership we've ever had as a community. And I don't think anyone would argue it is without question our most successful. So today we celebrate being a part of this great community, we celebrate this wonderful place, and we celebrate a vision that so many people before us have had that we get to be the beneficiary of, us and so many Lake Foresters in the future. Thank you very much.
Please welcome the president of the Forest Park Board, Ralph Gesualdo.
What a beautiful day and what a beautiful park. It's pretty cool being introduced by Bill Curtis, by the way. I just want you to know that. The mission statement of the Forest Park Project Board was to work in a partnership with the City of Lake Forest and the entire Lake Forest community to develop a comprehensive plan to rehabilitate, enhance, and preserve Forest Park for the future use and enjoyment of all our residents. As part of that process, the board is committed to following established standards of excellence in areas of conservation, horticultural design, engineering, historic preservation, and cultural legacy to protect and strengthen this unique and significant landscape. 7.5 years ago, when our board was formed, there were a lot of people out there that doubted and didn't know if we'd get to today. It was much like the forecast earlier in the week. We didn't think we'd actually be here today. But I'd like to acknowledge the team members who made this possible and were able to complete this mission statement. Starting with our landscape architects, Stephen Stimson and Joe Wallen, our landscape architects from Stephen Stimson and Association. Our Forest Park Executive Board, which has absolutely been outstanding to work with. Our Vice Presidents, Jane O'Neill and Joan Dupre. Our Secretary, Pamela Bailey. Our Treasurer, Peter Cherry. Our Legal Advisor, Mark Goodman. Our committee chairs, starting with Historic Preservation, Gail Hodges. Engineering and Technical, Tom Swarthout and Steve Douglas. Landscape and Horticultural, Craig Bergman. Amenities and Memorials, Judy Bogus. Fundraising, Mary Hoffman and Prue Beidler. Marketing and Public Relations, Karen Stensrud. Our consultants, Galen Gates, Audie Ciccarelli, our administrative assistant, Meg Griffin, and a special thanks goes out to Cliff Miller, who most of you have seen has been out here for the last year and a half planting flowers. I'd like to thank our mayor, city council, as well as Bob Colley, the city of Lake Forest city manager, and his staff for their patience and tremendous support in this process. Chuck Myers, Mike Thomas, Kathy Cerniak, and numerous others have been great, outstanding partners to work with in putting this park together. I'd like to thank our ribbon cutting committee, led by my wife, Mary Gesualdo, who's hidden back there somewhere and will get upset with me that I mentioned her name. I'd like to put a special thanks out to the public. Your patience has been outstanding. The last year and a half, your park's been under construction. We've taken this beautiful park away from you. Hopefully it was worth the wait. The last 7 years of planning, a number of city residents have been instrumental in that planning, in the public process. Thank you to the community for their financial support. Our Legacy Circle members, including our lead corporate sponsors, Lake Forest Bank and Trust and the Chicago Bears, and everyone else who contributed financially to this project. This project would not have been possible without your support, your generous support. And our slogan today is not too late to donate. You can have your name appear on that legacy board, that legacy board circle, and the donor board that's right down there by the south parking lot. Just see our legacy and our donation tent that's right over here. Did I do a good job with that, Mary Hoffman? I got that. To our donors, don't forget to pick up. We have a special gift for you in the donor tent right over here. And lastly, I promise to be short. So lastly, I'm grateful and thankful to live in a community that has cooperation, that is supportive, not just financially, but in every way you possibly can be, and a community that's as generous as the City of Lake Forest, that allowed our board and allowed the City of Lake Forest to create this park and complete our mission statement. Thank you very much, and thanks for all coming out today.
Of course, we wouldn't be here today without our lead corporate sponsors, the first Senior Director of Business Development for the Chicago Bears. Please welcome Brian McCaskey.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bill. It's an honor to be introduced by you as well. Thank you. I'm honored to be here today representing the Chicago Bears. The Bears are a longtime resident of Lake Forest, and we're one of the oldest residing enterprises, and if I'm not mistaken, on that issue, and we're very proud to be members of the community. The team moved its operations to Lake Forest in 1975, partly through the influence of Ralph Jones, who's important both to this community as well as the Bears. You see, Ralph coached my grandfather, George Hallis, in both football and basketball at the University of Illinois. He went on to become the head coach of the Bears in 1930, when my grandfather retired as the player coach. Ralph's final season as the head coach with the Chicago Bears was 1932. And 1932 was good news and bad news for the Bears. The good news is we won a world championship. The bad news, we lost $18,000. So my grandfather returned to head coaching duties following that season to save the cost of hiring a new head coach. And then Ralph Jones returned here to Lake Forest, where he coached basketball and football right over here at Lake Forest College. So through that relationship, the franchise had a friend in the community. We moved into a makeshift facility in 1975 before moving to Lake Forest College in 1979. We stayed there for 18 years. Many of you might be familiar with our role in the community, and I'm not here to give you a history lesson. My point is that my family has had a long history here. In 1978, I was 15 years old. It took me 35 years to get here, but by God, I got here, and I'm so happy to be here and be a part of the community as far as actually having my home here. Long, long time ago, God created Lake Michigan, and recently, in the past few years, some people with time, talent, and treasure made it so that we could enjoy it all the more and make it accessible. I'm very happy the Bears had an opportunity to get involved with the Lake Forest project. Thank you very much.
Please welcome the Senior Vice President of the Lake Forest Bank and Trust, Susan Wright.
I'm very honored to be here today and very honored to share the stage with the Bears, as Lake Forest Bank and the Bears are the two lead corporate sponsorship. On behalf of Lake Forest Bank, I'd like to congratulate the Forest Park Commission, all the donors, the City of Lake Forest for creating this incredibly beautiful park. It is amazing. You all must have a link to the heavens because it wasn't supposed to be as beautiful as it is today. So that's a big accomplishment as well. Mary Hoffman asked me to spend a few minutes telling you why Lake Forest Bank supported the Forest Park project. Lake Forest Bank has really grown and prospered because of the residents of this community and the businesses of this community. And it's very important to us that we give back and we support important community institutions and community projects. Forest Park is certainly amongst those. When the Forest Park, or members of the Forest Park Commission came to meet with Dave Lee, who is our president, and unfortunately had a long-standing family vacation, so he couldn't be present today, he shared the vision that they had for the park and the vision they had for restoring this so that the community can enjoy it. The park truly is one of our grand public spaces, similar to the beach and also Market Square. And we are very honored to be a part of this. You have certainly created the most beautiful amenity for all of the community to enjoy and for future generations to come. This is truly a legacy project, and Lake Forest Bank is very proud to be a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Bob Dole.
Well, it's an honor to be here today, and Bill, you honor us with your presence. Thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to really a number of thank yous, not only to the Forest Park Board and Ralph for his leadership, but to the mayor and to the city council, and to those really in the event committee that had put this on. And I don't know who we thank for the weather. I don't know if it's Ralph or if it's Don, but we're going to give thanks to as many people as we can. I also want to take this opportunity to talk to the young people that are out there. So the children that see what's going on, this is a project that's lasted for 7 years, but really what it is a community that's come together to really preserve what is one of the greatest jewels that we have in our open lens and obviously in the jewel of our ecosystem in the Great Lakes. So we actually have a chance to see the Great Lakes now from the park. We didn't have an opportunity to do that about 7 years ago. And frankly, as we look at the plantings and the vision that happened with regard to the Planning Committee and the Forest Park Board, it's really remarkable. And what we're doing to make sure that the lake is preserved, that we are making sure that the plants that are out here actually are filtering what goes into what is the greatest jewel we have, which is, in essence, 95% of the world's fresh surface water in our Great Lakes. So this is really an honor as we stand here on Flag Day, as we stand here together as a community, a public-private partnership. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank my good friend Susan Garrett, who's out here, our former state senator, who I know 7 years ago was part of this process and certainly helped along the way also. But today, I really want to thank those who really put their heart and soul into this, and that's the Forest Park Board, and specifically Ralph, and would be remiss if I didn't thank Joan Dupre and Jane O'Neill and all those others that really did just tremendous work. So for you young people, this has happened over the course of the last 7 years to create a sustainable vision for the future of Lake Forest and for our entire community. And so what you need to do is you need to take a look around and see what your parents and grandparents have done here, because it's going to be on your shoulders next to make sure that we can preserve what we have here and actually grow it in other parts of our community. So I want to thank you all for coming today to a historic event, to what is an award-winning park, and my hope is that we'll all be able to enjoy it as much as we are today. Thank you.
The time has come, speakers, members of the podium, platform, to step right down in the line, right in front of the ribbon. I'm going to give this, Bob, to you and to Ralph. Please stand together, and we're going to cut the ribbon on Forest Park. Everybody together.
careful.